everyone, welcome to the Young Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Daniella, and this is my co-host, Mordechai.
Hey!
We have a very special guest with us today, Lauren Smolka. Today's episode is all about the new live-action How to Train Your Dragon, and we got to sit down with the stars themselves. So Mason Thames, who plays Hiccup, and Nico Parker, who plays Astrid. The film was directed by Dean DeBleu, the same creative mind behind the original animated trilogy, and it brings Toothless and the world of Berk to life like never before. So think sweeping IMAX shots, emotional character arcs, and all the nostalgic chaos that you're hoping for. And of course, the John Powell scored the film. We are so excited because in this YouTube video, in this podcast episode, we are going to show you this incredibly exclusive interview that our host Lauren got with these two stars, Mason Thames and Nico Parker. But before we do, let's catch up a little bit. Okay, so Lauren, you're new to the Young Entertainment Podcast. So one of the first segments that we do is called Hot Mess Obsessed. So basically, it's just sharing a piece of literature or maybe a TV show or a movie, really anything in entertainment that you are just hot mess obsessed with right now. So I know for Mordechai and I, sometimes we'll throw it back to like Cinderella's story or some like decom, or it can be something, you know, that it's a new piece of entertainment that you're just obsessed with right now. So what would that be for you?
I would say first thing that comes to mind is Only Murders in the Building on Hulu with Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. Steve Martin is one of my favorite actors and performers. So anything that has his name attached to it, I love. And it's suspenseful, but very lighthearted. And that's my favorite kind of entertainment.
It's so good. The tone of that show is very unique, right?
It is.
It's like, how do you even put your finger on it? Like the humor is there, but it's like almost an indirect version of humor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think that's all of, again, Steve Martin and Martin Short, that's what they're just so good at, like keeping you entertained in that way. Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite shows.
It is such a good show. Okay, so Mordechai, what are you obsessed with right now?
So I actually, because Superman is coming out, I kind of was in the mood to go back to Smallville. So I kind of was watching the pilot before, and it was, it actually, I mean, I personally felt it had held up. I really liked it.
Oh my gosh, I feel like you always give the best recommendations. I'm always like 2 steps behind you in whatever you're watching. Okay, but I would say for me right now, there's a few things we have going on. We have the OC because Mordechai got me hooked. We have Gilmore Girls because like we've talked about before, I wasn't allowed to watch that growing up. So now I can watch it and I'm just loving it. There's something so comforting about watching like nostalgic shows or nostalgic movies. It's just so comforting. And then let's see. Oh, of course, we did an episode about this, but Ginny and Georgia. I'm rewatching some episodes because it was so fun. We got to interview Chelsea Clark, who plays Nora in Ginny and Georgia. And so like just kind of watching it back after hearing her perspective on stuff is just so much fun. Like you get the POV from being on set, and then to rewatch it with that lens is just like the best. So that's what I've been watching. Lauren, have you watched the new season of Ginny and Georgia?
I have not. I've seen a couple of the beginning episodes, but I have yet to watch a full season. But it's on my list for sure, on my long list.
Girl, you gotta watch it. Yes, I know, right? Long list, which I don't mind. I always love having like good stuff to binge. It's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so for those of you that are just joining the podcast, which by the way, if you're here, whether you're watching it on YouTube or streaming it on Spotify or Apple, we're so happy you're here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you tune in every week because every single Friday we release a new episode. But if you've been here for a minute, you know the 6 Degrees of Zack Efron little segment that we do. And for anybody who's new, maybe you've heard of it, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, which just means that it's the concept that any single one of us are only 6 social links away from another person, which is crazy. And we love to do this with all of our guests on the podcast. But Mordechai put something special together for today because it's all about how to train your dragon. So Mordechai, do you want to take it away and share how you linked? You linked Mason, right? The lead in How to Train Your Dragon to Zac Efron. Am I right?
Yep, that's what we did. We yeah, we took Mason and we said, oh, he was just in a movie called Monster Summer, and we know David Henry was the one who directed it. So we went to Wizards of Waverly Place with Selena Gomez, to Neighbors 2 with Zac Efron. So there you go. Selena Gomez was with Zac Efron, and so that's how we connected to Mason.
Wow. Okay, is that only 4? 1, 2. Yeah. If I'm
Nice.
counting correctly. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Everybody that we interview is like, okay, I'm about to be friends with Zac Efron.
One step closer.
One step
Exactly.
closer. I love it. Lauren, do you think you have a 6 degree? Well, you do. I'm sure you figure it out. Not to put you on the spot, but do you have a 6 degrees of Zac Efron?
To Zac Efron specifically. I mean, I know friends who've met him before. I live in Los Angeles, so I feel like everyone is connected on some regard, whether they realize it or not. I have friends who've ran into him at events, but I haven't personally. But I don't think I can think of anything off the top of my head. But LA is such a small town. It's big, but it is small.
Totally. Well, oh yeah, when I lived there, I ran into him at Starbucks one time.
Yeah, see?
And I admired him from afar, and I totally geek girled, 100%. Okay, so fun. So, okay, let's meet Lauren. Thank you so much for being here today. And what's so exciting is she's one of our newest entertainment hosts, and she got to do this press junket for How to Train Your Dragon. So, Lauren, before we dive into How to Train Your Dragon, who is Lauren Smolka? How did you get into entertainment? What do you do? Give us a little breakdown.
So I've been an actor. I would say most of my background is in musical theater. So I transferred.
Same.
Oh, awesome!
That's how I grew up. Yeah.
It's honestly, I think for me, that's where I got so much of my training was in musical theater. If you can perform live, there's so much in that, and I've realized so much respect that comes with that too. And so I transferred over to film and TV. I would say about 10 years ago, and then I was doing pageants at the time. So Miss California. Through the Miss America and the Miss USA organization, which is one of the things that got me into hosting and live entertainment, continuing with that. But yeah, so here we are. So I'm an actor still, but hosting as well.
Okay, cool. And please tell me at some point in your career you were a Disney princess.
I work in entertainment at the Disneyland Resort. That is what I will say.
I was going to say if you're just listening, she looks like a real life princess. So that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Oh.
So much fun. Okay, so let's dive into the press day breakdown. So you got to see the film before the interview, right? Did you?
Yes, I saw it the night before.
Okay. And Mordechai, you also got to see it. So
I saw it yesterday, yeah.
Okay, so I want to know, let's think of it rapid fire style. Starting with you, Lauren, what are 3 words to describe How to Train Your Dragon live action?
Suspenseful, sweet, entertaining.
Love it. What about you, Em?
Magical, adventurous, and hopeful.
Oh, that's so nice. And for everybody who's watching or listening, Mordechai and I have not seen this incredible interview that Lauren did with the cast. So we, at the end, when we watch it, we're going to be live reacting to it because we haven't seen it yet. But of course, Lauren was there. So she saw it. Okay, so Lauren, what were some things that you loved about the movie?
I will say, so it's been a long time since I've seen the original, but I remember when it came out. I was probably about 20 at the time, and I wasn't. I was skeptical. I was like, How to Train Your Dragon? When, I don't know. I was not prepared for how sweet and how Mordecai described it, magical it was. And so with the live action remake, my expectations were not just met, they soared. I had brought a guest to see it, and we both were just latching onto each other during the suspenseful parts, and I was really, really touched. I absolutely loved it. I would say I'd put it in my top 5 of live action remakes.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty incredible. So set the scene for us. What was it like behind the scenes of press day? How did it all go down at the junket?
It was next level. I was not prepared for how official that press junket was. You walked in and you looked like you were walking into a scene in the movie. They had all these characters dressed up as if you were walking into Berk itself. They had the woman that kind of keeps tally score during the training sessions. They had a woman who looked exactly like her when you walked in. She was like, "Welcome to Berk," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And there was all these different stations where you could make things. There was axe throwing. The whole cast was there. It was pretty incredible.
That is incredible. So like they really took you into the movie. It was like a real life experience. That's so exciting. Okay. So I want to know what your favorite part was about the interview without giving like any crazy spoilers. What was actually interviewing them like?
Honestly, truly, this may sound cliche, but just how sweet and down to earth they were.
Aw.
They're both so young. So, imagine they're excited for this just as much as we are, and imagine receiving such a big role at their age. Just putting myself in their shoes was really calmed my nerves. I don't want to say nerves, but my excitement, and just kind of grounded me with them because we were all excited to be having a conversation. So it was really cool to have a conversation with people who are just getting started in the industry like this.
Oh yeah, and this role is like life changing for them, and I'm sure like you could sense that in the interview. Okay, Mordecai, I'm gonna ask you a question. What are you hoping to see in this interview? Like, what's something that you would love to see? Because I know that you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I love when the actors interact with each other. So like if
Yeah.
there's any interaction between them, like that would be like my fave. But and I mean like honestly, like I was so thrilled like when we got the email that we were gonna interview him, I was like jumping with excitement because that is like this is big. Like this is How to Train Your Dragon, the leads. It's not like like yeah, I would have been happy with one of the like side characters, like no jokes, like hands down. But like getting this was like next level, and it just like
Yeah.
anything we got, like I'm excited about. So
Totally. And that's such a good point. Like, it's so cute when and endearing when the actors and actresses like interact with each other and you get to see their chemistry in the press junket. It's just precious. It feels like true fandom. Like that's what being a fan feels like is witnessing like that real raw emotion between the characters. It's so wonderful. Okay. Should we watch the press junket interview? Should we go for it?
let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Okay. Woo!
All right, guys, we all set? All right. So here at Young Entertainment, we're all about masterclass moments, especially for the youth. Saw the film last night, absolutely loved it. Already telling all my family and friends about it. Mason, to start, were you already a full-blown Toothless fan before
Oh
this?
my God, Toothless is the cutest thing ever. I mean, what I think everybody loves about Toothless is the fact, what are you laughing at, huh? It's so late in the press they were dying. But I think what everybody loves about Toothless is they can put their pet in his shoes and just find him the most adorable thing ever. Because Toothless can be a cat or a dog. What are you laughing at? You answer the question now.
So you're doing a brilliant job. Keep going. It's very
But yeah.
realistic, very realistic dragon.
No,
Yes.
he's the cutest. Even when we were watching the movie, she kept on tapping my shoulder and being like, Mason, he's so cute. And I was like, I know.
I know, he's so sweet.
Very cute.
Nico, I guess you can take your first on this one. What are some behind-the-scenes secret from filming that would totally surprise fans?
Behind the scenes secrets.
Nico Parker does her own cartwheels.
She does all her own stunts.
All her own stunts.
No, I think. What's like do you think there is any?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot.
There's probably a lot.
Yeah.
Not that I really. I mean, me and Mason became. When I say me and Mason, I became obsessed with these white chocolate chip cookies
Oh
that they
my
would
God.
make every day on set.
Insane.
And what you wouldn't know is that everything in the arena, we would literally go and sit in like the dragon. You know, like how they like let the dragons out from their cages. We would go and sit in there with heaters and cookies and just eat them.
We would sit in there with you.
It was a team effort.
Yeah, it's just, where's Nico? Oh, she's in the dragon cage with the cookies.
So that was a kind of constant thing happening behind the scenes.
It's like, Nico, come out, you gotta film, like with the cookie.
They would lure me to set with the
Oh, I
cookies.
love that. How fun. What was your first thought stepping onto the Berk set?
Oh my God. It felt like I was in that world.
Yeah.
And it felt like the world stepped out of the animated movie. And and they did such an incredible job of bringing it to life and elevating it. So seeing that and working with that, it was really easy to walk on set and to act like I'm in that world because we were. So it was great.
It was. I mean, me and Mason walked into that set for the first time together, and we weren't filming or anything. We were just kind of going. Dean was giving us a tour around, and it was just so shockingly realistic, and it was also so early on in prep that they hadn't even, the finalized version that we ended up filming with was way closer to being a real space and place, but you know what we saw even then was like more than I could have dreamed of having as a set. It was really special.
Wow, well, you can definitely tell it was an amazing film, and I'm so glad we had to have a conversation with you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for coming to hang out. Of course.
Okay, I just have to say,
Oh
so
my
Mordechai,
God.
you said that your favorite thing was when they interacted with each other.
It was
I
so
feel like
good.
that may have been the most like interaction between stars we've ever seen in a single like 4-minute interview, right?
Yeah, that was incredible. That was so good. I was like, oh my God, it was so good.
You could tell they had a genuine friendship. You know,
Totally.
obvious chemistry, but I think when people hear chemistry, they automatically assume romance. You know, and obviously, you know, there's something between the characters in the film, but they really just get along. They get along. Their banter is so sweet, and so it was really, really fun to talk with them.
Oh my gosh, they were so precious. And I know I'm a little biased, but I love the questions that we asked because we had such a good mix of like the behind the scenes, the funny, the lighthearted, the white chocolate chip cookies, what it was like walking on set. And then I think my favorite part though was him totally teasing her when she was laughing and she couldn't stop giggling. That was so cute.
They were very cute.
Lauren, was there anything like special or unique that happened during the interview that really stood out to you?
I will say I was very impressed with how present they were after such a long day. You could tell how excited they were to be there. And we were the very last interview. So after we were done, they said, okay, Mason, that is a wrap. And everyone applauded in the room. And again, it just shows to you how excited these kids are to be here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I love that we were the last ones because I
know,
remember,
me too.
right? Like you always remember the first and the last, like really in anything in life, but then also like in musical theater. I remember one of my teachers saying like the most important part of the number is the very beginning and the very ending because people will always remember the beginning and they'll always remember the ending. So anyway, that is so fun.
The finale.
Okay, Mordechai, I know you were so excited about this press junket. I mean, duh, we all were, especially to interview the two leads. So what was your favorite part about watching that?
Just hearing them like talk about like, you know, their personal experience with like what it was like to be part of like such a big project and they seem so like down to earth and they don't seem like they don't want to be there, you know, like so many times you go to these things and they're doing it because they have to, and they genuinely like felt like they like were having a time. They're like, oh, it's the end, but we love being here and we're still gonna put on we're gonna do it. So I love that. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And for everybody who's listening or watching but hasn't actually seen How to Train Your Dragon yet, Lauren, what do you think is the number one thing that you were surprised by when you watched the film that you think people are just going to love?
I think that how I know I've used this word quite a few times, but how suspenseful it is. I think so many action films, you know, obviously most films like this aren't geared towards kids, but so many films I think tell too much or they borderline on violent when it has to be an action film. And this was so entertaining and was still, in my definition, an action film. And so it was so refreshing to see just that, an entertaining action suspenseful movie that didn't push the envelope too far, but left audiences really entertained and entrapped in that world the whole entire time.
Wow, that's so good. Well, that definitely makes me even more excited to watch it. So amazing. Well, everybody who's watching and listening, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you loved seeing our exclusive little interview that we did with the stars of How to Train Your Dragon. And make sure you subscribe, because every single week we are talking to your favorite celebrities, your favorite stars. We are chatting about your favorite shows, your favorite movies, and we're your besties in young entertainment. So we just love chatting and hanging out with you. So thanks for being here. So don't forget to subscribe to us on every channel ever that has ever been created, because we're on all of them. And if you are an aspiring actor or actress and you want to learn how to get an agent, spoiler alert, agents that are legit are free. They just take a percentage of the jobs that they get you on the back end. So, your acting career is more tangible. It's closer than you think. And I will give a little shout out too, just to hit you with a quick masterclass moment. There are a lot of castings happening right now on Backstage Casting, on Actors Access, on Casting Network. So those are some sites that you can sign up with to launch your acting career, which brings me back to go to our Instagram, Young Ent Mag, click the link in our bio. We have a how to get an agent guide there for you so that you can learn more about that and take one step closer to making your acting dreams come true. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.